Hello again and welcome back. It is Hannah here from Blue Ferret Boarding. We board your ferrets, we give you everything you need for your ferrets on our online shop, and we just love all things ferrets. We're slightly bonkers, but in a good way. This month, July, it is National Picnic Month. How awesome is that? And to celebrate that fact, what else could we talk about but food? In particular, ferret food, obviously. So we want to talk about ferrets and what they eat, but this is actually quite a serious issue because there is a lot of misunderstanding and there is a lot of misguidance and ignorance about what to feed a ferret. And when I say ignorance, I don't mean that in the rude kind of way. It's ignorance as in not having the knowledge. And I want to really put to rest some of these ideas. So we have ferrets that come into the world with a disease that we call swimmers, which is because the mother wasn't fed correctly and enough during her pregnancy to develop the kits, and as a result the kits are born with problems with their bones and with their spine particularly. Sometimes these can be healed and sometimes they're problems for life. So what do ferrets eat? They are obligate carnivores. Ferrets are not rodents, they are their own thing, a mustelid, and they are obligate carnivores. And that means pretty much what it says on the tin. By obligation, they eat meat. They must eat meat. They eat nothing else but meat and protein from that. Do not give them veg, do not give them food, do not give them anything wheat or grain based, do not give them sugars, do not give them salts, even a little bit. Yes, you can give your dog treats. Do not do that with a ferret. It will not thank you in the long run. They are obligate carnivore. I will say it again. They eat meat. Have I got that through? Awesome sauceum. So what do we mean by that? Well, we're going to delve into this a little bit further in the coming weeks, but let's have a quick look. By meats, we mean things like raw chicken can be on the bone. If it's anything thicker than drumsticks, well, to be honest, with a chicken, you're not going to get anything much thicker than drumsticks, but they will just eat those. So you can pretty much give them a chicken. You can give them a rabbit pretty much whole and they'll eat it. Or you can chop up the rabbit and everything in it. And we've had that before where people have literally had a rabbit brought to them by somebody who's been rabbiting with their ferret. They've been given some of the rabbits and they have literally just got a knife, chop, 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 in a bag in the freezer, and they've been brought to us as kind of whole chopped up rabbit, pretty much. I think they've been cleaned and gutted for what they need to be gutted, but a lot of the big organs have been left in because that's good for the ferret, and the rabbit fur and the bones are all really good for the ferret. So you can just give all of it to a ferret, it's fine. The same with birds particularly. You know, if you are feeding raw like that, you might need to just keep an eye on the health of your ferret and the gut health of your ferret from the point of view of things like worms and other possibilities, fleas. I mean, obviously if you're bringing in rabbits that have been out, wild rabbits, but on the whole, you know, that kind of thing is fine for them and they can manage it. Their guts can manage it, their teeth, believe you me, can manage it. You will not have very much left from a whole drumstick if you give it to them. The important things to remember are that anything with bone in must be raw. Anything that's cooked must not have bone in it, because once you've cooked the bone, it becomes brittle. And that can cause damage in the ferret's gullet. Even a small amount can really rip and damage a ferret's gullet. So no cooked meat on the bone. All cooked meat off the bone. Raw meat, pretty much of any type. You can give them a lot of offal, but some of the rich offal, the kidneys and the liver, not too much of in one go. It's very, very rich for them. Similarly, eggs, raw or cooked eggs are great for them. And again, you know, if you've got the space and you don't mind a bit of mess, give them a whole egg. Just let them play with it and crunch into it themselves. Fun for all the family of ferrets. You know, it's good for them. And again, that crunching up of the shell, it's great for them. And I will quite often in the kitchen, which is laminated, if I'm cooking with an egg, I'll not bother sort of scooping out the bit of the egg. I'll just crack it in and then pop it on the floor if there's a ferret out, and let them just chase it around the kitchen. And there's two halves and they're literally chasing it around the kitchen trying to look inside it, and it keeps them occupied, keeps them fun, and they'll start crunching on the shell. It's no bad thing. So all of those kind of things are what we're looking for. Do not feed them, as I've said, any fruit, any veg, any grain. They're not herbivores. Do not feed them grain, please, please, please. Do not feed them sugars or salts. So that means no processed food. You can feed them what we call kibble or biscuits, but it must be a specific ferret biscuit. And again, we're going to look at that in a few weeks' time. But for now, the purpose of this particular video, if I haven't nailed it home enough, is that ferrets are obligate carnivores. They eat meat. I'll see you next week, guys. Take care. Quiz below. What do they eat?